Hello YouTube, this is Cobra22 here, back with another 100-point squadron build for Star Wars X-Wing miniatures. Tonight we're looking at a build that actually a fellow competitor that I meet at the tournaments I go to helped me construct. He uses a build a lot. It's called the Dash-Poe build, and it consists of a YT-2400 piloted by Rendar and an Incom T-70 X-Wing fighter piloted by Poe Dameron himself. Now, this is, I guess, really you could say it's a divide and conquer build. The idea behind Dash is that he's able to he's pretty much covered from all of his bases. He's got upgrades that pretty much cover him if he's ramming, if he needs to attack from all directions, if he needs to get rerolls in case he's stressed, and then of course Poe Dameron here is basically the quintessential art dodger. But with the upgrades I have with him, I've kind of limited with he's kind of limited with his art dodging capabilities, but the upgrade I gave him in place of what I was supposed to give him will hopefully compensate for that lack of art dodging factor. So that said, let's look at the build itself. This is the squadron I have going on here. Squadron costs 97 points, so you will get initiative if you use this build. Very risky using a 2-ship squad, especially with these 2 ships. But if you play them just right, then you should pretty much have no trouble at all with this build. The guy who helped me construct this build, he uses it all the time, and he flies actually pretty well with it. It's pretty much next to impossible to take down Poe Dameron with the build he has. But I digress, let's move on. Start with the smaller ship, piloted by none other than Poe Dameron himself of the Resistance. Coming in at a pilot skill of 8, he flies the Incom T-70 X-Wing fighter for the Resistance. He has standard stat line of a T-70 X-Wing. He has an attack value of 3, agility value of 2, a hull value of 3, and a shield value of 3. His action bar consists of the focus, target lock, and boost upgrade actions. He costs 31 squadron points to field, and his upgrade bar consists of an elite upgrade, a warhead upgrade, an astromech upgrade, and a tech upgrade. His pilot ability reads, while attacking or defending, if you have a focus token, you may change one of your focus results to a hit or evade result. So with Poe Dameron, taking a focus action is a must, because because of his ability. Basically, it's as long as you have a focus token, you can change one of your results to a hit or an evade, and of course, well, you'll keep that focus. You don't spend the focus. So it's kind of like his ability is kind of like Luke Skywalker's, but I personally think it's much better than Luke Skywalker's. Anyway, his modification. Normally I would have put on an auto thrusters, but I don't have that yet. Hopefully I'll be getting some tomorrow. But for now, I put on a stealth device, which states increase your agility value by 1. If you're hit by an attack, discard the scar. So a squad point cost of 3. Poe Dameron now has 3 agility until he gets hit. That means he now has 3 attack, 3 agility, 3 hull, 3 shield. Same stat line as a TIE Defender, which will pretty much make him that much higher, and plus the boost in agility will make him that much harder to hit. So he'll have like the same stats again, same stat line as a TIE Defender, or an E-wing if you E-wing with a hull upgrade, and so on and so forth. For his elite upgrade, chosen push the limit. This is pretty much a staple to the game now. Coming at a squad point cost of 3, it reads once per round after you perform an action, you perform 1 free action showing your action bar, then receive a stress token. Straightforward. Get 2 actions the same turn, but you get stressed if you do that. BB-8, however, or his astromech, allows him to alleviate him of that stress while he's doing that, as well as help for action economy. It is BB-8, Poe Dameron's trusty and loyal companion. Coming in at a squad point cost of 2, he reads, when you reveal a green maneuver, you may perform a free barrel roll action. So BB-8 allows Poe Dameron to take a barrel roll action, something he's not allowed to do by himself. So that means with push the limits, you BB-8, you reveal a green maneuver, get your barrel roll. It triggers push the limit, allows you to do a booster target lock. You take your maneuver, which is a green maneuver, which gets rid of the stress caused by push the limit, and then you get to take your focus action. So yeah, with Poe Dameron, with this build setup, you've got 3 actions in 1, provided you keep taking green maneuvers. And considering that the T-70 X-Wing has 1 more green maneuver than the standard T-65, which I think it has like 4, this one has 5. So yeah, you have a bit of an easier time with this guy. For his tech upgrade, if you decide to go all out or last dissevered, we have the weapons guidance. It comes in at a squad point cost of 2, and it reads when attacking, you may spend a focus token to change one of your blank results to a hit result. So pretty straightforward. if for whatever reason Poe's about to die and you know that he's about to die, or if you feel like you can get that that last shot off him, without any risk of him getting hit, then you can spend the focus token that you put on Poe Dameron with weapons guidance and change one of your blanks to a hit result. Provided this is a very situational upgrade though, so don't count on this upgrade, but rather if the situation does arise where you can take advantage of it, then I suggest you do. Otherwise, just play it safe with Poe, continue dodging and arc dodging around the foe with his souped up agility value, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Now for the bigger ship here, we have one of my favorite ships to fly, Rendar. Coming in at a pilot skill of 7, he flies the Corellian YT-2400 freighter for the Rebel Alliance. Standard stat line of a YT-2400, he has an attack value of 2, and it's a turret weapon, so he has coverage from all angles. He has an agility value of 2, a hull value of 5, and a shield value of 5. His action bar consists of the focus, target lock, and barrel roll actions. Cost 36 squadron points to field. His upgrade bar consists of an elite upgrade, a cannon upgrade, a missile upgrade, a crew slot, as well as an unlisted tile and modification. His pilot ability reads, you may ignore obstacles during the activation phase and when performing actions. So, Rendar's ability is probably one of the most overpowered, one of the most overpowered abilities. There are others that are slightly better than that. But you can perform actions in the activation phase even if you're overlapping an obstacle. So this is pretty handy for if you say land on an asteroid, and you can barrel roll off of it. I highly suggest you do that because you won't be able to attack if you land on the asteroid. But at the same time, if you pass through it, then there's no trouble because Dash's ability allows him to blatantly ignore obstacles. It's a really handy ability, especially if you're going to a heavy asteroid field. There's title card, which is a must at this point for him. We have the Outrider. It's a YT-2400 only title, coming in at a squad point cost of 5. And it reads, while you have a cannon upgrade equipped, you cannot perform a primary weapon attacks, and you may perform cannon secondary weapon attacks against ships outside your firing arc. So, how this works is, instead of having both a primary weapon and your cannon, your primary weapon is pretty much gone, but your cannon acts as your primary weapon. You can basically attack from any direction with your cannon, and you're not restricted to your forward firing arc. For his modification, does something a little different. I've chosen to put on an ion projector for him. It's a large ship only modification, comes in at a squad point cost of 2, and it reads, after an enemy ship executes a maneuver that causes it to overlap your ship, roll 1 attack die. On a hit or a critical result, the enemy ship receives 1 ion token. So the ion projector, with the ion projector, Dash Rendar becomes a pretty effective blocker, if you ask me. Because however, it does state that if an enemy ship executes a maneuver that causes it to overlap. So I'm going to assume that this can't really work if you decide to run to the ship. I don't know that for a fact. But yeah, but this basically with this upgrade, it pretty much makes Dash Rendar a pretty good blocker because if a ship touches him, they risk getting ionized, and if it's a small ship, that's pretty bad. And basically what that means is with Dash, you can just keep going forward and blocking them, and have Poe Dameron come around and shoot the guy from behind while the guy's getting ionized from the ion projector. So there you go. Now for his actual upgrades. His lead upgrade, I've chosen Predator, coming in at a squad point cost of 3, and it reads, when attacking, you may reroll 1 attack die. If your defender's pilot skill value is 2 or lower, you may instead reroll up to 2 attack die. So it basically grants you a free reroll if you get an unfavorable result. It also helps to compensate for his crew slot, which I will go for in a second. Starting with his cannon, we've chosen a Mangler cannon. Normally I would have put on a heavy laser, but this is cheaper and I find it's a little bit better. As comes in at a squad point cost of 4, has an attack value of 3, can be used at any range from 1 to 3. And it states, attack 1 ship. When attacking, you may change one of your hit results to a critical result. So pretty straightforward. This came with the IT-2. This came with the aggressor cruiser, or the aggressor ship for the Scum and Villainy faction. I think it also comes with the M3A interceptor. Don't know for a fact. Don't quote me on that. But Some would argue that the Mangler is better than the heavy laser, but others would argue that the heavy laser is better in certain conditions. For dash, I would say the Mangler is better because you lose that one attack value, yes, but you get full range coverage from range 1 to 3, and one of your hits is guaranteed a critical, and it also costs 4 points cheaper. Whereas with the heavy laser, I'd say that's more suited to ships like the TIE Defender or the Fire Spray 31, because regardless of what range you attack at, you're going to get 4 dice regardless. And of course, but any criticals you get has to be changed to a hit result, so that's the only downside of that. And of course, range 2 to 3 doesn't really go well with Dash there because he'll have a Donut of Death with the Outrider title card, and that kind of leaves him pretty open for other ships to just kind of take advantage of that weakness. And finally, for his crew slot, you've gone with a Recon Specialist. Coming at a squad point cost of 3, it reads, when you perform a focus action, you may assign 1 additional focus token to your ship. So with the Recon Specialist, you basically get a double focus action. Now, here's how this works. Dash Rendar is probably going to be taking his focus action a lot because he'll get 2 focuses, 1 for attack and 1 for defense. However, should the time come where he has to perform a red maneuver, then he has Predator to back him up in case the Recon Specialist doesn't work. Added to the fact that he'll be attacking with a Mangler cannon, which guarantees a critical hit result so long as he at least one which guarantees him 1 critical result, provided he gets at least 1 hit. And and of course the Outrider title card allows him to fire that cannon in every direction. Ion Projector is good for when he needs to block enemy ships from trying to get to Poe Dameron, or allow Poe to circle around with his maneuvers and just flat out decimate them. But yeah, this is how the build is constructed. I'll return in a second to show just exactly how it works. Okay, we got the ships in their position. We got the Captain Oikun and a VC-49 Decimator. Let's just say for this example he's already taken his maneuver, and we'll give him focus action. And then of course we have Dash Rendar and Poe Dameron have yet to make their moves. So we'll start with Dash. He's going to be taking a Heart 2 action, or a Heart 2 maneuver, so that he can stay relatively close to Oikun, like so. And then for his action, he's going to take a double focus because of the Recon Specialist. So we'll just take 1 and 2. So now he's got 2 focuses, 1 for offense and 1 for defense. Finally, it's Poe's turn. For this example, he's going to be doing a soft 1, which is a green maneuver. And he's going to take advantage of that by using BD-8. Do his free barrel roll, like so. He's then going to push the limit with a negative boost, like that, which will stress him out. He'll then take his maneuver, which is, again, a green maneuver. Get him close. He will remove the stress because of that, and then, of course, for his third action, he'll also take a focus. So that's how Poe Dameron is really meant to be flown. He'd be an arc dodger normally, so he'd have the auto thrusters equipped, but stealth device kind of acts as a close second because it gives him that extra boost in agility. Poe is the highest pilot skill, so he'll get the first shot. It'll be a range 1 attack, so it'll be 4 attack dice versus 0 agility. Let me just grab my dice in my damage deck real quick here. There we go. Got my damage deck. I'll just grab my dice. Okay, so it'll be 4 attack dice versus 0 agility. And we have 3 hits and a focus. Poe's ability allows him to change that to a hit by default. And that's 4 hits, so all 4 shields on him are gone. And then it'll be Dash Rendar's turn to attack. He'll get 3 dice, and he's attacking with his Mangler cannon. We have a critical, a hit, and a focus. He's going to spend his first focus to change that to a hit. And then the Mangler cannon changes one of his hits to a critical. So now he has... Let me just find it. Where is it? He now has 2 hits and a critical, so that means first he takes the hit. First critical, blinded pilot. After he executes a maneuver, if he's touching another ship or overlapping an obstacle, he suffers damage. And then this one is a blinded pilot. He can't perform attacks. After your next opportunity to attack, flip the card face down. So basically this makes it so that Oikun cannot attack back. But however, say for example that was something else, and we'll have Recon attack. He's going to go for the Poe Dameron because he's the closer. So he would get 4 attack dice. Poe Dameron would normally get 2, but thanks to the stealth device, he now has 3. So we're just going to ignore blinded pilot for now. So this example say was like say a shaken pilot or whatever. And he's got 4 hits, 3 hits and a critical. So Poe is guaranteed damage, but he's got 2 evades and a focus. Poe's ability allows him to change that to an evade. So all of these are cancelled, and Poe will only suffer 1 shield. So now you see how it works. Again, normally Poe would have auto thrusters on, but as you saw in that scenario, he didn't really need it because I got a pretty lucky roll. And plus the extra boost in agility does help him with the evading shots. However, because he took that shield, he would lose his stealth device and he'd go back down to only having 2 dice. So that would be a problem. But other than that, I think it's a pretty solid build. Anyway, this is how the Dash-Poe build works. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Any constructive criticism is greatly appreciated. If you like, you may use this build for any competitive or casual play, or you can tweak it or revamp it to your own specifications. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Corbin22 signing off.